Hi, I'm Deborah Dahab, expat coach and intercultural psychologist. My aim and goal is to help you, expat, navigate smoothly and easily through your cultural transition. So, today we're going to talk about expat guilt, and I'm going to give you some ideas as to how to deal with it. Please subscribe, use the button below. That will make me really happy. Thank you so much. So, expat guilt is something that many expats go through. Many of them also don't know exactly how to name that. So hopefully today you'll have an idea of how that process is, what feelings that involves and how to deal with them. This is something really hard, and I think one of the hardest parts of being an expat is dealing with this guilt. Expat guilt can come from the feeling of being away from family and friends, both in hard times, not being there for illnesses, not being there for the hard parts, not being able to help, either because, you're very far away or you have other responsibilities that it's really hard to just, turn the key and just go. And also for the good parts, you miss birthdays, you miss weddings, you might miss um, good parts. For those who have children, it also can be related to the feeling that your children are not living or not, don't participate in the extended family's life, like grandparents and aunts and uncles. And that also for parents can be, like, oh, I'm preventing my child from being around their grandparents and extended family. And that also can relate to guilt. There is also that guilt that is related to the environment where you're at. So many times, if an expat is living in a country that is less developed, and they might have a better quality of life, access, to health care, access to privileges that people that the locals don't have, that can also precipitate guilt. Guilt regarding, why do I have this and they don't. Another thing that can happen with expat guilt is regarding many times this can happen with people who accompany the ones who go. So this is pretty common in what is called, trailing spouses. I don't care for that term that much, but so the spouse that leaves the country with the person, usually an employee at a company. And this guilt can be related to the fact that the accompanying partner left a job, a career, and sometimes they're not allowed to work in the host country for visa reasons. So that can precipitate that kind of guilt, like I'm not working, I'm just, people start to feel guilt and also other feelings like a loss of identity and purpose, but that's for another video. So expat guilt can be all of those things and mixed together, so it's hard. So the first thing I would suggest for you to do is name it. Many times we have these feelings and we're not able to name it, and we can only really tackle an issue when we know what we're tackling, right? So if you're feeling these feelings, name it. Say, I feel guilty because my mother, and my father are sick, and I can't go there. I can't be there. I feel guilty because my children can't be, around their grandparents. I feel guilty because I can't be at my sister's wedding, which reminds me of a story of a client that she wasn't able to attend her sister's wedding, and she felt really guilty about that. So what did she do? She actually tackled it in a very positive way. It was important for her to participate, and there were different ways to participate. So what she did was she made FaceTime calls and was able to participate in the choices, and she asked her sister to take a camera when they did the fitting of the wedding dress. So all of that she managed. Of course, it's not the same thing, but she managed to participate. And that's one of the tips that I was going to give you, is that use technology to your advantage. Granted, it's not the same thing, we know that, right? But it helps a lot, and you can feel closer to the person. Regarding the other kind of expat guilt that is related to the locals, you can always tackle that and, volunteer and participate and make their lives a bit better. Help make the locals' lives more comfortable in whatever way you can. And sometimes little things make a whole of the difference. I used to volunteer teaching English, and it really, well, if you've ever volunteered, you'll know that it's hard to tell who feels the happiest, you or the person receiving the volunteer. So those are the things I would suggest you do. And overall, share these emotions with other expats, because your friends back home probably won't be able to relate to this feeling. And this is something that expats, I would say most of the expats feel. So share it with other expats, because they will know what you're feeling. They will know because they probably feel it too. And they will give you some ideas, and just sharing, and opening your heart helps to make things a bit easier. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.